guy in his lineup, and then we get to see the return of Rafael Hipolito on the other side.
Hipolito just outside the rankings and a lot of conversations, but he's 13-2 this year. Can't deny his excellence in his first full healthy year. And here we go from Castle, Hipolito and Evans, Virginia Tech and Pitt matching up, and we're starting at 1:57 for a 7 p.m. contest in Castle.
Evans getting right into the hand fighting, goes over with the collar tie. Got a little bit hands to the face. I think officials looking on that. Headgear fix from Hipolito, still on our feet.
If you're Dylan Evans, Jared, and you're facing a guy who's a 2-time world champion in jiu-jitsu, has such an athletic background, how do you even prepare for a guy like Hipolito?
Well, it's something I think if I'm Evans, you got to be ready to scramble. You got to expect the rolls, the ankle grabs, the little bit of flashiness that you're not used to. That's what makes Hipolito so successful at this level. He comes in with a different martial arts background, comes in, and it's tough to wrestle. It's tough to adjust to.
Lewis Baker calling for some action. Quiet halfway through period 1.
Hands legal, hands legal.
Sort of feeling each other out. Hipolito, more of an open stance.
Offense, gentlemen, offense.
Still scoreless, about halfway through period 1. First matchup at 1:57. It's number 10 Virginia Tech,
Fingers.
number 18 Pitt. And a ranked matchup between these 57-pounders, now finally locking up. And they call for a stalemate. Let's take a peek at Tony Roby's resume for Virginia Tech. Head coach for Virginia Tech in his 8th season, and he's done pretty well in dual meets, 78-24. I mean, he's just built quite the program here.
Absolutely. I mean, it's you saw a thing. It was the 96th season in Virginia Tech history. They had never had an NCAA champ. Tony Roby has 2 since then.
Pretty much one after another with Mekhi Lewis a few years ago, and then Caleb Henson last year, and we got Henson later tonight. Under a minute to go, still scoreless.
Evans almost got in on a nice little low single attempt there. Hipolito was able to get in. There was a shot from Hipolito. A little bit of head and hands blocking from Dylan Evans there.
Hipolito, the 2-time world champ in jiu-jitsu from now Brazil, went to Alabama, won the state championship there as a sophomore, then won 2 more state championships after that in Virginia. And that's how he got discovered by Tony Roby.
It's really an amazing find. You look through this Virginia Tech lineup and you're going to see 7 different states tonight represented in this Hokie lineup. It's a testament to this coaching staff and what they've been able to build, how they're able to be so successful with recruits.
Well, no points represented on the board through the first period. 4 minutes to go. Well, let's take a peek at Keith Gavin's resume. 8 years at the helm for him. Similar level of success in the dual records. Also an ACC co-coach of the year. To 4 times for Tony Roby. You got 2 great head faces of the programs here.
Absolutely, and Keith Gavin's been the face of the Panthers for well over a decade now. Before Nino Bonacorsi, he was their last national champ. So the man is the face of the Panthers wrestling program.
The main storyline coming into this for Virginia Tech and Tony Roby's squad, Hipolito, one of many to return to the lineup after a lot of injury bugs this year. This is his first time since early January on the mat.
It's something that we're sadly seeing a little bit more frequently this year, it seems. Just teams getting banged up. It's a long, grueling season, and I think it's a little bit of pressure of, wrestling needs to grow, and I think these coaches kind of feel like, hey, let's go get the best competition and give a lot of fun wrestling for the fans to watch, and, sometimes that often leads to injuries. Like I said, it is a long, grueling season for these guys.
Evans the escape after starting on bottom in this period, so it's 1-0 for the Pitt 57-pounder.
Guys, offense. Wrestle here.
Evans, a redshirt freshman, 17-5 this year. Last match, a major decision versus number 11 Iowa State, Carter Fusek. Another stalemate call here. Minute to go in period 2. Hipolito took top position to start period 2, so chance for him to get that escape point after this minute, but we'll see if anyone can get that elusive first takedown.
Hipolito looks comfortable in this stance. It's like I said, it's open. He's standing. Evans is really controlling the level on the mat, and I'm surprised we're not seeing more shot attempts from Evans. Still feeling each other out. Hipolito here in the front headlock. Can't tell if he's over
Wrestle
both
here,
sides.
gentlemen. Wrestle here.
He's on the chin. Got it locked there.
And another stalemate called by Lewis Baker. Mike Fredrickson calling for more action. And that was stalling. Again, Lewis Baker, Michael Fredrickson, your referees on the mat tonight. Hipolito's last victory was his last match back in early January, a major decision over Jeremiah Price of App State, just 2 hours down the road in North Carolina. And to period 2, 1-0 Evans. If you're Hipolito, how do you get back in it? Well, let's take a peek at the ranked wrestlers in the ACC first. Hipolito, number 10. I mean, just a stacked conference.
It is. And it's what they've been able to do this year in Chapel Hill is amazing. I mean, an upset over Pitt. They're constantly in contention. An upset over VTECH earlier this year. I mean, it's just, it throws another hat in the ring, you know, and it's fun to watch.
An escape point for Hipolito, and we're tied at 1 in the final period. And now they're turning up the pace. Stylistically, if you're Hipolito, what are you looking for to try and get that extra point? Just get the edge on Evans in front of your home crowd.
It was nice with the underhook there. Thought he was going to be able to get his hip into it a little bit more, but Evans does a nice job circling out of it. Hipolito has had the first 2 periods. I don't want to be too defensive against him, but it has been very open. It's very, you know, he's really back to the edge of the mat. And here's Evans with a front headlock. He's got that crank pretty tight. Pops out ear to ear on the edge of the mat. Evans down.
Edge of the mat now, and no call. "45 seconds to decide the first matchup here at 157.
Fingers. Get out of that grip.
Lewis Baker calling for the fingers once again. Bit of a stalemate on our feet tonight. I think it may be a little bit of that defense of Hipolito. What I was trying to get to earlier is that BJJ background, the martial arts, it's a completely different style, and a lot of jiu-jitsu athletes who transition to wrestling, where they really excel and really learn how to pick things up quick, is in the defense aspect on their feet. So it may be a situation like that where Evans looks at some film, looks at their style matchup and says, hey, you know what, let's win this one on the mat instead.
Center, gentlemen, center.
1-1, and we go to sudden victory for our first matchup tonight. Perhaps an appetizer to how competitive this should be. Overtime rules, Jared, break it down.
It's changed from the past, but 2 minutes sudden victory, you know, the 2 30-second periods, alternating points. Hopefully we get to see something here in this first overtime, get something on our feet going from these two. It's been a stalemate thus far.
So 2 minutes to decide it. After that, we'll go into alternating 30-second periods of action, switching top and bottom positions. But first point to score here, anywhere, anytime, and it's a win.
Hipolito pushing the pace here a little bit, gets some fake shots, moving in and out, and
Action, gentlemen, action here. Action here.
Evans takes his shot from space. Hipolito gets his hip down right away. Oh, Evans back in. Got it around, circling. Hipolito fighting the hands.
Evans got the leg.
Takedown, Red.
And Evans will get it. Shoots the single leg and walks away with a big victory over a ranked opponent. Dylan Evans gets the first points on the board for Pitt.
And Evans has won 8 of his last 9. He's a hot hand for the Panthers and Coach Keith Gavin, and he shows right there to start the match. He is an emerging presence in this Pitt lineup and really needs to be looked at a national level. Look at this, just gets to the corner, keeps his head on the inside, able to keep that grip as Hipolito's fighting. And as soon as Hipolito reaches over to that other side of the knee, it's too deep. Evans was in there all over that off of the re-attack.